it's all these learning lessons that we give ourselves, the opportunities in life to reestablish what our standards are. And so what are your standards for what you are willing to accept into your life and or not willing to accept into your life? These are what we call boundaries. I believe they're really important because they help you set up the framework for the emotions that you're going to experience. If you're feeling a lot of guilt in certain ways or scenarios, is it because you're overstepping your boundaries? But how would you know if you hadn't reminded yourself of the boundaries and the standards that you have in your life to begin with? That's the learning part. That's the re-engagement and the integration of the experience in your life, and now reviewing it in terms of, is that what I want? Is that what I'm going to accept further down the line? And if it's not, and you notice that a boundary had been hit, how did you know that the boundary was hit? And this is where the NLP comes into play, because this is your sensory acuity. This is the thing where you're in a conversation with someone and then you receive that insight of like, it's time to go. I need to go. And you feel like, okay, this conversation's done. I'm okay to leave right now. And then you stay for 45 minutes later and you're like, why did I just stay for so much longer in a conversation that I wanted to release myself from a while ago? Or was it something that somebody said that maybe surpassed a boundary? Someone made a certain comment about your kid. And you're like, wait a second, that's not, oh, your kid's sure going to be a troublemaker growing up. And you like catch that, like, wait a second. In my model of the world, that's not okay to say. But then you just let it go. But then looking back on it, you're like, what do we always say? I should have said something. I should have said something. That's when you know that your boundary was passed. So how do you know that you have the opportunity to speak up about it next time? It's about honing in the sensory acuity of the moment when there's the shift, right? The difference that makes the difference. The moment when that your boundary becomes crossed. Is that something that you feel? Is there a certain feeling in your body that there's a shift in like, oh, I got that gut instinct, like this is not the place to be, or this is not the conversation I want, or this is something's wrong here? Or is it the AD, the internal thought of, I'm not liking this right now. But then you stay. For whatever reason, you stay. You ever feel like the people pleaser? But a people pleaser up to the point where you feel tired and out of energy to do what you really want to do in life because you're helping others fulfill their dreams, right? Without paying you or whatever, you're just like giving so much that when it comes to you doing what you want to do, you're too tired to do that. These are signals that we give ourselves the opportunity to see when it comes to our boundaries.